all of a sudden it all became so very clear that at the age of 1.5, my father took me to Romania. He had gotten a letter from the army of Romania to ask him to come and serve his 2 years that he had left without serving, and that he should come back. So his decision was that he's going to go back, not only because of the army, but he still had a father there and a sister and a brother. And he decided to go back, but he also decided to take me along. And we spent 2.5 years in Romania. When I remembered all this, it came as such a shock. I was absolutely floored. The main thought that kept going through my mind was, why did my mother let me go? Did she fight? Did she say, don't take her, she's too young, she's only a year old? Or did she not say anything? I just didn't know what to think. It was horrible. And I knew all I had to do was pick up the phone and call my father, who lives in Brooklyn. And that would have all been so simple. It took me 5 days to do it. It took me 5 days to make that phone call. And I finally did. I still remember it was a Thursday night. And I remember asking Stewie to please stay downstairs while I make the phone call. And I remember telling him to listen in on the conversation, because if any of his answers would have affected me too much, I would just let go of the phone and he could pick it up. Well, that wasn't necessary. I was able to hold on the conversation. And I called him. I called my father. And he seemed, strangely enough, he seemed so happy that I asked him the questions. I started off saying, you won't believe this, but I have to ask you a few questions that goes back 40 years ago. And he said, sure, go ahead. And I said, why did you take me to Romania with you at the age of 1? And he said, oh, because my father, my sister, nobody had ever met you, and I wanted them to know you. So I said, how about my mother? What was her reaction? And he evaded that question, and he just said that they were so happy to see me in Romania. And, cute little baby girl and this and that. And he also said that his sister and brother never had any children, so they were absolutely thrilled to take care of me while he was in the army. So I asked again, what was my mother's reaction? And he said that she had no choice anyway. So I had to drag the words out of him. I finally said, didn't you trust me with her? And he said, no, I didn't. And then he said, I just wanted to show you off to my family there. And somehow he wouldn't answer me really as far as, so anyway, I said, what do you mean you didn't trust her? And he said, I just did not trust her. Now, I just want to say that they did divorce when I was 6, and it was because of adultery on her part. He had caught her with another man, and it seems that she had a few affairs while they were married. It's just that I wasn't aware of that. I knew it happened just before World War II, but obviously it must have happened even when I was about 1, that he said he didn't trust her. So I came right out and I said to him, was she already having affairs before you went to Romania? In other words, when I was only 1. And he said yes. And that's why he didn't trust her, and that's why he felt I should go with him. Well, obviously that's his side of the story. I don't know her side. I have stopped all communication with her 6 years ago. And of course I'll get to her eventually. But I was very, very upset by this whole conversation, but Stuart did not have to pick up the phone. I was able to go on. And I thanked him, and then I said good evening, and that was the end of that. But when I hung up, I don't know what got into me. I became completely hysterical. And I could not stop crying for the life of me. On one hand, I said to myself, well, he didn't trust her, so he thought I would be safer with him. And so, as far as he's concerned, he did the right thing by me. And then on the other hand, I would say, oh my God, he used me as a pawn. It was out of revenge. I know he always loved her. I think he still loves her till today, in his own way. But at the same time, he must have hated her for her infidelity. And so he used me to take me away from her, because I'm sure it must have hurt her. It must have done something to her. I was just a pawn. I mean, it was a revenge of some kind. And the thoughts were, I was just going completely crazy. I just didn't know what to think. Until it took me so long to calm down, and I must say that Stuart was very comforting. He told me to take half a Valium to calm me down. If I take a full one, I fall asleep, and anyway, he just calmed me down, and he held me in his arms as if I was really a baby, a 1-year-old baby. And it was one of those real bad nights. And I said to myself, my God, had Nola not said to me a few days before, think about what happened to you before you were 6 years old, I don't think I would have even remembered being in Romania at the age of 1. Well, anyway, that was a fact. I was in Romania with him. I was with these strange people who, one was a grandfather and one was an aunt. I mean, all that did happen. And we came back when I was 4.